All right, another I think weekly conversation of keeping it real.
Weekly
This,
conversation. I'm wearing the same
keep,
clothes. Is the
keeping yeah, me too. Well, I have like six of these shirts, so I'm not so bad. But keeping it real, estate related. Again, still shopping that title. Today we're talking about a couple of different things. One thing that we do, and we if any agent could do this, the number one thing I think they could do for their client, for their selling clients, for their buying clients, is to preview the inventory religiously.
Yeah,
I find it amazing on how many agents don't go and actually take a look at the homes in person.
a lot of times when you go on and you see a new listing hit the MLS and you look at the price and it's like way over or way under, you know immediately that they don't do this.
Yeah,
And now there's a lot of contributions to why it might be where it is. But as far as for us represent our clients, and we go and do a walkthrough for them. They're saying, hey, like we're ready to getting ready to sell this house in the spring. What do you think it's worth? I mean,
mm,
even before going into their house, we've got a pretty good ideas because we've been in every single house that's been for sale,
yeah,
in the area.
yeah. I always feel like all of our conversations should have like a little asterisk along the bottom. It's like it gets really close.
Yeah.
Yeah, because when I sit down with somebody, we every single week we'll preview all the new listings in
Mhm.
Buffalo for sure. Then we trickle over into Monticello and then kind of our surrounding area, our core area that we really like to break. And list homes. And again, we're gonna go see, like we were talking about on another episodes, like what does it look like? What does it feel like? Does it smell good? Were the pictures really good and the house is really bad, or did it actually look better in person? And
Yeah.
those are all things that we talk with sellers of just saying, hey, I think your house could outperform this one because when I viewed 123 Banana Street, it was the rooms, the pictures made it look bigger than it actually was, and
Mhm.
what you didn't see was like the neighbors had a junkyard in their backyard, and you don't see that in the photos here.
Yeah.
Is something that's kind of holding it back, or for a reason of like, hey, well, our house is about this. Well, what you didn't see was the fact that um, this had a gorgeous rolling acres view or something like that.
Mhm.
Something that and you're looking at the junkyard. So it's some of those things where you can actually take hard information and doing your due diligence and actually analyzing what the market is doing,
Yeah.
to better serve your buyers and your sellers.
Yeah. I think that I don't want to get too much off topic here, but Eric on two of the houses that he ended up buying were houses that he didn't plan on seeing, and whether it was like his last one, for example, we went and toured it, and
Yeah,
this wasn't a house that was even on his radar, and
I don't think moving was, well, it was kind of on his radar, but
it was, I mean, it was in the back of his mind, same as a lot of people, but
yeah,
this was one that we almost didn't get in, and then
I
because
gave up.
yeah, yeah, and then we went and opened the door and it was unlocked in the back or something like that, which that's the situation that the seller and the seller's
Yeah,
agent were in. But anyway, we got inside and we went and looked around and we're like, holy smokes,
it's pretty
this
cool.
is really cool. This makes it look way better than it does online. And it was an opportunity that I think a lot of people missed because the photos weren't very good. And we got in there and it was a
Condition was awful.
condition was terrible. But
Yeah,
it's things like that where you look at it and it's like, oh, these are just cosmetic updates and fixes and
yeah,
things like that. It's like the bones are good, and these are things that you don't see online.
yeah,
Um,
absolutely. So what do we do? We sit here and it's Monday afternoon that we're going right now. We like to preview on Tuesdays, and why we like to do that on Tuesdays is one, it gives everything that maybe has sold over the weekend a chance to process their paperwork on Mondays, and then we'll just take a look at it. Hey, what's available in these cities? And there's usually about 10 or 12 as kind of our maximum, amongst several cities. Like we try and keep it a 2 or 3 hour time frame. Um, but why we do that is just it's good times to communicate with each other. Is kind of like, hey, what are you seeing in the market? Networking with other agents, and then actually, one, being a professional of giving some feedback to those other listing agents. I can tell you, I've only seen other agents preview a handful of times on our listings.
Yeah, if that.
I know it is not happening.
Mm-mm.
It's like we've got the receipts to show, like, yes, when you say we've been in, I will say on the conservatives, 90% of the houses that have hit the MLS, we've been in them, unless they sold, in that short window that
Yeah.
we couldn't.
I mean, how many times have you saved somebody time, like somebody who's maybe an out of town buyer looking to move here, by looking at a property and being like, look, I was in it. This one's not going to work for you, and here's the three reasons. And it saved them from making a trip down that they didn't need to do. Or on the other side of things, you looked at a house that's like, hey, this is an opportunity for you that we wouldn't have seen if
Yeah,
I didn't go and preview this home for you, and made got that sale done and got a buyer into a house because
I could
you
probably
previewed it.
I could probably come up with at least a dozen
Hmm.
of homes that they weren't gonna buy that I showed them that they discarded.
Yeah.
Hey, no, this didn't make my list that you sent me. I said, no, I think you should for this reason.
Right.
Now, along that, even if you're working in different areas, going through homes, going through photos online, let's just say, because my brother bought one that he said, no, I don't want that. It's
Hmm.
ugly. I hate it. And because we preview in our area, I can tell, I think we're more skilled at searching through like an MLS photo, looking for things of like how angles change. Some of those, beat up. You can actually look at a photo more objectively and see, haha, I've seen this
Hmm.
before and it didn't look great in person. So you can actually kind of decipher it a little bit more like that. And for all those reasons, I said, you should go and see this house. I think it's a great fit for you. He's like, yeah, we loved it and it got a great deal. And
Yeah.
so it's really, even if you're finding yourself jumping around, get inside the houses in your market, learn it, evaluate it, again, correlate it. I think it's one of the best things that you can do for your customers, and it's just good knowledge to have.
Right. And for buyers, it's good for them to go and look at houses because they kind of understand what's out there. They get a better feel of what they like, what they don't like.
Yeah.
But I think the biggest thing, honestly, for previewing houses for us is properly pricing houses when we do list.
Yeah.
When we know, because we've been in all of these houses around here, we know where it should sell, where a lot of them are being listed, and where a lot of them are actually selling. Properly pricing a home is one of the most important things when it comes to selling a house.
Oh, primary example. Obviously, we're not going to give names or anything like that. Earlier this year, or last year, it doesn't matter. uh, we were in a house, gorgeous house, amazing. Jeremy actually brought the buyer to it, but when we
Hmm.
toured it, I'm like, this thing is at least 30,000 underpriced. So when the buyer paid 10,000 over ask, I didn't think he was paying over ask. I think he was paying under market. And I think it would,
Hmm.
I mean, and it sold immediately right away. And I'm like, that was an opportunity. It's like, hey, we've been in everything. This is the nicest thing. And they should have been asking 450, whatever it was,
Hmm.
way more for this house. And they would have had the exact same people and somebody would have bought it at that point.
Yeah,
And I
I
was just
mean,
like, ooh,
gaining instant equity for our buyers, selling for more money for our sellers. I mean, it's just
yeah,
that's why we do it.
yep.
Got to be pros in our area. That's
Ab, ab, absolutely. I always make fun of Luke whenever he does that. But anyway, number one thing I think you can do as an agent is preview your market area. All right. Thank you.